I'm Drew Keel, and this is your evening news. There are many ways to lose a ball game, and unfortunately for the Twins, they may have found a new one. It's always good to have fans with you when you're on the road, no matter how irrational they may be. Third inning, Jason Maxwell. Who? Exactly. Maxwell flies one deep to left field for the first run of the game. Tied at 1 now in the fourth. Mark Redmond throws one in the dirt, and as it gets away from A.J. Pierzynski, Jeff Conine comes in to score from third. A.J., however, gets the run back here in the seventh as he takes one the other way. Jock Jones turns the corner and ties the game at 2. The O's have the bases loaded with 1 out in the ninth. Short pop up to right. Luis Rivas goes back, makes the catch, but he cannot get enough on it as Brady Anderson comes in to tag and score the winning run. That's ballgame. The Twins lose on a short pop fly to right field. What a way to go. 3-2 the final. The Twins lose their third series of the season. They have tomorrow off as Seattle comes to the Dome on Tuesday. When there's uncertainty in the stock market, they say to invest in bonds. Barry Bonds showing how to do what he does best. Last night in Atlanta, Bonds goes deep once, twice, 3 times a lady in one game. So did the Braves pitchers learn their lesson? Doesn't seem so. First inning, Bonds leads off with a solo shot, followed up in the 7th inning. How about one more?
To Mark McGwire.
That's 2 games, 5 home runs off 5 different pitchers. They needed more, though, as the Braves win the game, 11-6. The Big Ten tourney is a double elimination, and the Gophers, the only team without a loss. They've got one to give, but it wasn't necessary. As the Gophers knock out Ohio State 6-5, follow up by beating Michigan 3-2 to take the tournament championship, the Gophers get the Big Ten's automatic bid to the NCAA tourney, as the pairings come out tomorrow. There's nothing better in sports than a Game 7. Today we had 2. It's kind of like having a Game 14. The Raptors, Vince Carter attends his graduation at North Carolina this morning. This afternoon, he hopes to graduate to the conference finals. Game 7 in Philadelphia. The Sixers in front most of the way. Aaron McKie here drops a fadeaway to put Philly up 6 with under a minute to go. Toronto keeps scrapping, pushes the loose ball to Del Curry. He hits the 3-pointer to pull the game to 88-87. The Raptors have the ball in the last shot. Down 1, Carter for the win.
Carter trying to get free.
Too much as Vince gets his diploma, but not the win. The Sixers survived 88-87 to go on to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Bucks owner, Herb Kohl, must have bought this jacket at one of his stores. Watching his team pull away from Charlotte, Ray Allen pushes the ball up the floor. They say if you want a job done well, you got to do it yourself. Allen from one end of the floor to the other. Glenn Robinson here helps put it away. The big dog's got to eat too. 3-ball puts the Bucks up 12 as they win by 9. Bucks back in the conference finals for the first time since 1986. Guten Tag, Guten Tiger. In any language, in any country, Tiger is tops. Deutsche Bank Open in Germany. Second shot on a par 4. Tiger clubs down from a 6 to a 7. Good choice, Tiger. 175 yards away, might as well be a gimme. The shot lands right in the hole for his second eagle of the day. Tiger didn't even realize it until he reached the green. Starts the round 1 shot back, finishes 4 strokes ahead to win the Deutsche Bank Open. Danke schön. The rest of the best at the Colonial. Bad day for Tom Lehman, but at least this goes right for him. Tee shot, bounces off the retaining wall and onto the green, which sets up an easy birdie. Lehman, however, finishes 2 over on the day and tied for 15. It's not a major, but Phil Mickelson still cannot win. Here he misses the easy putt and lets the lead get away. These are the hands of a winner. Sergio Garcia shoots a 63 to come 5 shots back as he gets his first win in the U.S. And that's your sports. Thank you.
From KSAX TV, this is Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in tonight for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keogh. State and county authorities are investigating a car fire that killed a 17-year-old Albany teen early this morning near Avon. The Avon Fire Department was alerted of a car fire in Avon Township around 4 a.m. this morning. The only occupant of the burning 1993 Pontiac was identified as Joshua Eggert of Albany. The Stearns County Sheriff's Department and the State Fire Marshal are investigating the incident. Well, the cold weather didn't stop many anglers from getting out on the lake this year for the fishing opener. This morning, Lake Mary in Alexandria was filled with anglers seeking their first walleye of the new season. But once the rain hit, it made for a little tougher conditions for catching a keeper.
Well, hopefully you have guys in the boat as good-natured, happy-go-lucky as these two guys.
With the rain, sleet, and at times what seemed to be snow cutting the day short for some people, many of those fought through the weather and were left with an empty line for much of the day.
It depends upon your depth and the temperature. And right now, we're going to use, I don't know what we're going to use, because it's a little slow here today. A little slow, but we're having a great time.
I don't know about a great time, but I'm sure they eventually caught their fair share of fish. Well, what about that weather? Meteorologist Rob Cook joins us now with a look at your local weather forecast.
Drew, not a very good day out there. We had to face rain almost all throughout our Saturday, and so here's more on the news.
Thanks for the update, Rob, and thank you for tuning in tonight for your local news and weather update. KSTP returns after the break with your sports. Join us at 10. Have a good evening.
From KSAX TV, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening, and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keogh. State and county authorities are investigating a car fire that killed a 17-year-old Albany teen early this morning near Avon. The Avon Fire Department was alerted of a car fire in Avon Township around 4 a.m. this morning. The only occupant of the burning vehicle was identified as Joshua Eggert of Albany. The Stearns County Sheriff's Office and the State Fire Marshal are investigating this incident. Today, eager anglers got to drop their lines for those walleyes for the first time this year. Many of them have learned to fish from a dad or maybe even an uncle, but now anglers control the web for fish tips and hot spots. In fact, there's so much information available online, you can pretty much do everything except for hook a real fish. But finding facts on the web is not for everyone.
I'm not into computers. I don't have one at home, so I probably wouldn't be going on them for fish tips.
Many of these anglers will continue to rely on more traditional ways to catch the big one.
We have a cabin up on Minnewaska, and my parents live up here. They get a lot of their information from around here. Local bait shop's always a good place, too.
Even the anglers that won't accept fishing techniques from the computer find the web useful for locating the perfect fishing spot.
I think it's great. Everyone should need to know where they're going, especially the tourists, because they get to some places where they shouldn't be sometimes. And you know, it's just where the hot spots are. If you're going fishing, you want to catch fish.
So whether this is your first time out or you've been hooking worms since you were 5, the web offers something for everyone. Well, the web couldn't offer a fix for today's cold weather. It may have stopped some anglers from getting out for this year's fishing opener. But this morning, Lake Mary in Alexandria was filled with anglers dropping lines in search of their first walleye of the new season. The rain eventually moved in and created tougher conditions for catching a keeper.
Well, hopefully you have guys in the boat as good-natured, happy-go-lucky as these two guys.
With the rain, sleet, and empty fish hooks, some people decided to cut their day a little short. For those who fought the cold rain, there were some important decisions to be made.
It depends upon your depth and the temperature. And right now, we're going to use, I don't know what we're going to use, because it's a little slow here today. A little slow, but we're having a great time.
It's nice to see some people were able to have a good time in those kind of conditions. Well, any angler knows a different fish bring a different fight. Tonight, fisherman Steve Hamlin shows us how to bring the walleye into your boat.
There's one. Now tonight what I want to show you is how to use your rod and reel in combination to bring a fish up. Bring them up with a rod, reel back down to the fish. Keep tension, don't let them ever have loose line. Bring it up with a rod and reel down. That way you can handle larger fish instead of just winching and winching. Now that's a nice walleye, and that's how easy it is.
Thanks, Steve. Now you know, so next time you get a walleye on your line, I expect you to get that guy into your boat. Time now for a quick break, but coming up, meteorologist Rob Cook will have your weather forecast.
Minnewaska Marine is your #1 marine dealer in Polk County. You'll find a huge selection of marine products and accessories. G3 boats, deep water pontoons, Silverline, Leisure Life Limited, and much more. Minnewaska Marine also has a large selection of marine accessories, water toys, and scooters. If that special boat in your life is in need of repair, Minnewaska Marine can take care of it. Minnewaska Marine in Starbuck, fulfilling all of your boating and marine needs.
Next 5 days, Drew, back to you. Mother's Day, the fishing opener, they weren't the only big events this weekend. If you were in Starbuck today, you may have been part of a whole new celebration, a celebration of the world's largest lefse. Today they celebrate the oversized potato bread with music and cheer.
We have a lot of people that come for entertainment and for Scandinavian foods and lunches here and different displays that we have. And we have souvenirs for sale also.
About 20 years ago, several people came together to create a 70-pound, 9-foot lefse. Participants in today's event were able to stamp smaller portions of the potato bread. Thanks for joining us for your local news and weather update. KSTP returns after the break with your sports and more on that frigid fishing opener. Have a good evening.
By the way, I've got to quickly say good luck to Drew Keogh, member of our team here that's moving on. Good luck to you, Drew. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Mark. And as he just mentioned, today is a sad one for us here at the station as we are losing a member of our family. It is Drew Keogh's last night, and for the past year, it seems like he's been everywhere, either anchoring newscasts or reporting on everything from society to sports, and whether he's cleaning air conditioners or in one of our newsroom's favorite moments, trapped in a hazmat suit, Drew's sense of humor and wit has brought a smile to a lot of faces of his colleagues and, of course, our viewers. Drew's leaving us for another job within broadcasting, and on behalf of everyone at the station, I want to say good luck, and we're going to miss you, buddy. That's going to do it for your local update at 10, but stay tuned because Drew Keogh's final edition of Sports Beat is up next after the break. So stick around and have a great night.
Now, live, this is KSAX Sports Beat.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us for this final edition of Sports Beat with me. The show will go on next week with Dano, but this will be my last one, and what a busy one it is. This is the time of year sports fans, they live for this time of the year, with section and state tournaments going on all across the state. And tonight, several area boys basketball teams were looking to finish their regular season on a winning note. And tonight in Alexandria, let's go to the highlights of the Alexandria-St. Cloud Apollo game. St. Cloud Apollo gets their game off on the right foot as Mark Cruz will knock down the three-point. Alexandria, the headbands were out in full force tonight. And the good passing went on the ball up in Casey Thompson's hands. Those are sure hands. He makes a long-range jump shot. Mark Krause had a big game as he will give the pass coming up here, and then he will get the pass back. He's wide open in the corner, knocks down another three-point shot for St. Cloud Apollo. But you want a long-range shot and you want some magic, let's go to Blake Strouth, who makes the half-court shot to end the first half. But would it be enough? St. Cloud Apollo didn't want to do that, didn't want it to be enough, as Jonathan Williams will show how he's strong and fast, and he'll go down with a monster dunk. But a late surge by Alexandria will give them the victory in this one, 51-46, and make that long drive home down 94 a not enjoyable one for St. Cloud Apollo. Well, tonight in West Central area, the McDonald's All-American Megan Ronhalvde, she has stolen the spotlight for the winter sports out in Barrett, but West Central area, the boys basketball team, they have quietly put together a quite impressive season, and tonight they were trying to continue their winning ways as they played host to Frazee. And to the highlights of this one, the West Central area Crazies were out in full force tonight as the championship belt, whichever belt it may be, it was on the line, and Talon Peterson of Frazee is trying to do the best he can to steal that belt, so he will sneak down the lane and make a quick basket for the Hornets. West Central area on the attack this time, as Adam Johnson will knock down the long-range three-point basket. That's good for 3 for the Knights. The pressure was on for the championship belt as Tom Schramm will show the pressure's on, and he gets the steal. He'll go on for the bucket and the foul. This was a close game all the way through. We do not have a final score in this one. We will keep the phone lines open. If we do get a final score on this game, we will relay that score to you, but we do know it was a close game throughout. Well, sticking with the basketball theme, we're going to head down to Belgrade, where the Jaguars have already wrapped up a #1 seed for their upcoming section tournament. Tonight, they were trying to finish their regular season on a winning note as they played host to Howard Lake. And to the highlights of this one we go, and early on, Troy Rosengren will make a nice hesitation move and knock down the baseline jump shot for the Jaguars. Then Howard Lake on the attack is Derek Swedberg will come through your living room and knock down a baseline J himself. Troy Rosengren had a huge night tonight. He comes down on the break, and he will pull up for a nice three-point basket. BBE would go on to win this one 89-70. Let's take a look at those scores. You see BBE gets a big victory 89-70, and then Alexandria a late surge 51-46. It's time now for a short break. Take a look at some other scores as we head into this commercial break. As you take a look at some girls basketball scores, it's not a busy night for them. They played last night and they will resume action again tomorrow for their section tournaments. We'll try to bring you those scores as they become available to us. A couple of area wrestling teams, well, they will try to grapple their way to a state championship tomorrow down at the X. Today in the team competition, Litchfield's Joe Bouchette in the green singlet, he will pick up a win at 130 pounds. This victory over Chris Fast, that victory helped Litchfield post a 41-22 victory. Litchfield will face St. Michael Albertville in the 2A team final tomorrow, and then in Class A Bold, they flex their way to a 33-20 victory over Frazee, and then they will face Pine Island in the Class A championship match. Both of those matches tomorrow. Also, several area individuals are still alive for state championships. And to all those individuals, we wish you good luck, as well as to the couple of area teams that will be wrestling all day tomorrow down at the X. Well, the boys high school hockey state tournament begins next week. Tomorrow, Alexandria will be trying to secure their spot in the AA state tournament. The Cardinals will play Moorhead for the third time this season. That game tomorrow afternoon in the Section 8 AA championship at SCSU. The Cards are 0-2, but are ready for game number 3.
Oh, we're always optimistic. This bunch of kids has had success in the youth level, at state tournament levels, so if we get past Moorhead, I think it's one game at a time, of course, beyond that, but these kids are capable of playing with anybody.
The winner of tomorrow's game will take on #1 and defending state champions Holy Angels in the first round of the AA state tournament. And another area team, Fergus Falls, they have already secured their spot in the Class A tournament. They kick off this year's boys state tournament Wednesday at noon as they take on the Class A's top team in War Road. Well, the WCHA regular season is coming to a close, but things are far from being settled. Next weekend, the Gophers and the Huskies will finish their season with a fierce home-and-home series, but this weekend, Precious Points, they were up for grabs as the Huskies played host to Alaska Anchorage. And Alaska Anchorage has yet to win a WCHA game this year, and their streak continues as St. Cloud State gets a victory tonight, 2-0 down at St. Cloud State as they played home to Alaska Anchorage. Let's take a look at those scores from WCHA hockey. The Gophers, they were down 3-0 after 2 periods, and they come back to tie it, and they get a precious point as they tie 3-3 in overtime. Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the front runners for the bid for LeBron James in the NBA draft. Tonight, the lowly Cavs visited the Den, Target Center, to take on the NBA's hottest team, the Timberwolves. Let's go to the highlights of this one. Early on in the game, Wally Zerbiak had a big game as he will come in and make the jump shot for a Timberwolves basket. DeJuan Wagner, as a high school athlete, he had a 100-point game, and the Cavs could have used that productivity tonight, but they did get this nice-looking jump shot out of him. But they didn't have enough, as Wally Zerbiak will post up Wagner this time. And they were too much for the Cavs. The Wolves go on to win this one 118-95 KG. Another exceptional night, 1 assist short of a triple-double. The Wolves win their 6th straight and 16th straight at the Target Center. Time now for a short break, but a double dose of bad news for the Twins. Stay tuned to find out. Well, the Twins suffered an 8-2 defeat to the Cleveland Indians split squad today in their second exhibition of 2003, but they may have suffered a much larger loss as lefty Eric Milton was scratched from his scheduled start tomorrow because of soreness in his left knee. Milton had offseason surgery, and the Twins fear he may need a second one. Milton will return to Minnesota for further tests. Johan Santana is expected to start in Milton's place tomorrow as the Twins take on the Cincinnati Reds. Well, that'll put a wrap on my final broadcast here at KSAX KRWF from the studios right here in Alec. I'm Drew Keough, and thanks to all the producers and the directors, shooters, writers, everybody here at KSAX. For one last time, I'm Drew Keough. Have a great weekend.
Good to see those 60s in the forecast. Thanks, Rob. Fishing is one of only a few outdoor sports that all ages can enjoy, but it seems that it can still sometimes be difficult for seniors to get out there and experience the lakes. Let's Go Fishing Minnesota assists seniors that have a passion for fishing or for those who just enjoy the outdoors. The group prides themselves on just that.
Our overall motto, which I think is really important,
and kind of gives the whole spirit of what this is all about, and that is giving back to those who have given so much to us.
The new program provides seniors with a safe boat, equipment, and live bait, but that's not all they guarantee.
We guarantee one thing, and that is we want to guarantee people a good time. I tell people there's going to be no high blood pressure allowed on this.
For more information on Let's Go Fishing Minnesota, feel free to troll on over to their website or call the number you see on your screen. Thanks for tuning in tonight for your local update. KSTP returns after the break. Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keogh. A St. Cloud man has pleaded guilty to videotaping motel guests without them knowing. Jeffrey Keller admitted to taping guests through windows at the Kleist Motel in St. Cloud. Keller was arrested in November when a motel manager called police after someone saw him peeping into a room. The police have recovered 2 videotapes and a camera. If you're planning on grilling this Memorial Day weekend, there's something you should know before firing your grill up. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says a dangerous design error in the Red Devil gas grill can cause it to collapse. The CPSC recommends throwing it away to prevent burns on hands, legs, and your face. Sunny skies were a great start to this Memorial Day weekend, but is there some thunder rolling in? Meteorologist Rob Cook joins us now with your weather forecast.
Drew, we saw a couple of showers move through the area today, but most
Drew,
back to you.
Thanks for the update, Rob. Well, animal lovers, this next story is for you. An Alexandria veterinarian is working a little extra hard now that his Wildlife Rehabilitation Center is open. Dr. Bill Crocker opened his 800-square-foot rehab center, and his newest patient is this 2-week-old baby fawn. We'll have more on this story for you at 10. Well, that'll do it for this local update. Stay tuned as Kathy Gerhart returns after the break with a look at the Big Ten Baseball Championship. Join us again at 10. Until then, enjoy your evening.
From KSAX TV, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keogh. People all over Minnesota are looking forward to upcoming summer festivals, but Olayupa Fest kicks off tomorrow in Alexandria. Having fun in the sun is one of only many reasons to attend this Sunday's event.
Olayupa Fest is a great event for families with kids of all ages. We've got things for the littlest kids, from the money hunt and the bouncing house all the way up to adults and teenagers with the street dance that begins at 8 o'clock.
The festival includes bingo, kids games, a street dance, great food, and of course, a beer garden. This year celebrates the 6th annual Olayupa Fest with events beginning at 2. With the bass opener this weekend, I think it's safe to say the fishing season is in full swing. Fisherman Steve Hamlin joins us now with a tip on how to keep your minnow from getting off the hook.
Tonight's tip is about how I like to have my minnows on jig hooks. There are a lot of different ways that people try it, but what I want to do is show you how I like to do it. Turn the minnow over and insert the hook right in his mouth. Once you get that hook started in his mouth, run it inside to the back of his head, turn the hook, and it'll come out the back of his head. Now, with him on like that, that's going to give you a good, solid strike on a fish without ripping it off. Once you get him hooked like that, you're ready to go. You're going to get more walleyes because more of the minnow is up on that hook for working them in the water. With this, you'll have better luck.
Thanks for the tip, Steve, but my problem is getting a fish on the hook. Well, it's time now for a quick break, but coming up, meteorologist Rob Cook will join us with your complete Memorial Day weekend weather forecast. Stay with us. If you like animals, this next story is for you. An Alexandria veterinarian has opened a Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. Dr. Bill Crocker has spent much of his life taking care of animals. After years of studying and hard work, opening a Wildlife Rehabilitation Center was an exciting moment for him.
I love animals. I've always loved animals, and I try to do the best I can for them. And that's what I thought I could give back to, the wildlife.
In the 6 months the rehab center has been open, Crocker has seen animals ranging from baby raccoons, birds, and his newest patient, a 2-week-old baby fawn.
The animals that people can drop off at the clinic are unprotected animals. Basically what that means is that birds, small rodents, small mammals, they can actually get these animals and bring them into the clinic themselves. Any protected animals, such as deer, raptors, which are birds of prey, those they need to get a hold of a conservation officer.
The Wildlife Rehabilitation Center is a nonprofit program, and if you would like to contribute to its growth, you can contact the Alexandria's Animal Doctor, the number you see on your screen. With the long weekend, there are many people planning their Memorial Day weekend activities around the weather. So let's check in with meteorologist Rob Cook to see what the skies will bring for your weekend plans.
Thank you, Drew, very much. For today, it wasn't too bad. Back over to you.
Thanks for the update, Rob. And thank you for tuning in tonight for your area's only local weekend update. Kathy Gerhardt returns after the break to look at sports. Have a good evening.
From KSAX TV, this is an Eyewitness News Update.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keel. One man is dead following a car accident in Wadena County. Authorities say 32-year-old Scott Hull was found dead at the scene of the crash. A passenger in Hull's vehicle was treated at a nearby hospital and later released. We'll have more on this accident tonight at 10. Well, if your Memorial Day plans include being on one of Minnesota's 10,000 lakes, this story reminds you to play it safe, as 90% of those who drowned last year were not wearing their life jacket.
The life jackets of today will certainly, there's a myriad of different designs, and you should look at the design that fits your activity. But remember this, you need to get a life jacket that's going to be safe for you and will save your life if you get into trouble on the water.
Statistics show boaters often do not have time to get a stowed life jacket during an emergency. Minnesota ranked 8th in the top 10 states for boating fatalities in 2000. Coast Guard officers also say smart boating includes being aware of where exhaust and carbon monoxide are eliminated from the vessel.
They should not swim in those areas while the motors or the generators are on, or up to 15 minutes after they have turned off their generator or their motor.
These reminders come as part of National Safe Boating Week. Well, one more student's math project earned him a trip to Kentucky. Morris High School junior Andy Korth presented his ball bouncing exhibit to people across the United States. Andy is proud to explain his award-winning project, which rewarded him with a trip he'll never forget.
Same with, it was really exciting, probably one of the highlights of my life. It was a great experience. We met a lot of famous people that won the Nobel Prize and other awards. We met Intel executives, since Intel sponsors this. And then we had a great time. I met a lot of new people, made a lot of friends there.
Andy was one of 30 students chosen to represent the state of Minnesota at the International Science and Engineering Fair. Well, time now to check in with meteorologist Rob Cook to see what's going on in the weather department.
Drew, we saw a few showers today, most of those to the east and south of Alexandria, but below severe limits, just generally heavy rain.
High 70s and maybe even 80s. Sounds good to me, Rob. Thanks for the update. Well, that'll do it for this local update. Stay tuned as KSTP returns after the break with your sports. Join us again at 10. Until then, enjoy your evening. Update at 10, I'm Drew Keel. Well, on a day when we are to be honoring the veterans of America, some areas are recovering from fatal accidents. In Little Falls, Morrison County officials are reporting the death of 50-year-old Robert Gammon. Gammon collided with a cow on County Road 214 while riding his Harley-Davidson. 32-year-old Scott Hall was pronounced dead at the scene of a two-vehicle accident about 5 miles east of Monaga in Shell River Township. And the 17-year-old Terrell Wowinski of Black Duck is dead after an accident at the intersection of Beltrami County Roads 23 and 32. Well, a gift from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety has given the Brainerd Police Department a little extra help.
Every tool we can make use of, technological or through training, anything we can use to make our jobs be done more thoroughly, more completely is very welcome.
The mobile vision video system gives policemen and women an extra set of eyes, and more importantly, it can be used for anything from minor violations to high-speed chases.
It's a great tool, a great asset to our department. Besides showing the driving conduct of drunk drivers and the field tests, for example, when the officer is conducting them after a traffic stop or any other kind of traffic stop, it can also be used to document pursuits and what occurred during those. It can also even document disturbances and fights.
The Brainerd Police Department is one of only 8 Minnesota law enforcement agencies to receive the video system for their involvement with the Safe and Sober program. The Lake Regions Hospital in Fergus Falls began a $7.5 million project last week. Reporter Molly Graham has more on the story.
Lake Region Hospital recently began major renovations. The $4.5 million project should take about 3 years. What you see behind me will soon be a new addition to the Lake Region Hospital. Officials believe that the new facility, when completed, will not only benefit the hospital and its staff, but the community as well.
I think it's really important for a community to see an organization expanding. We must continue to offer the most modern modalities for the patients in the service area, and this project is just another effort to keep moving forward with healthcare for the Otter Tail County area.
The hospital also expects $3 million to update some existing medical equipment. The radiology department alone will receive $1.8 million within the next year. The renovation plans and expansion of services have been several years in the making. The hospital is excited to finally see the project underway.
It's great. It's always nice. It's always nice to get something started after you've been planning it for some time. It's even nicer to get it finished.
The physical medicine department will also take part in the renovations project. When finished, the department will include a gym with a 90-foot rehabilitation track. In Fergus Falls, Molly Graham, KSAX Eyewitness News.
Project funding comes directly from bank financing with $1.5 million used for operations. Well, time now for a quick break, but meteorologist Mark Anthony will join us after the break with your local weather forecast. Stay tuned. At the age of 17, Officer Dave Rodall began his career with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources. He has spent countless conversations with fellow outdoorsmen, but his role is different than most others.
It's our job and responsibility to see to it that they do have the licenses and are staying within the limits of the law. Usually through our conversation with them, they become very relaxed very quickly.
Officer Rodall is the Conservation Officer for the Sauk Center Field Service, who last year received the Wetlands Conservation Officer of the Year. And this year, he is the proud recipient of the Minnesota Conservation Officer of the Year.
It's an award that goes to an officer that's displayed over his career what the division considers to be outstanding work on the job and off the job. And it's not just about writing tickets, it's about all the public relations things we do, the school presentations we do, meeting with the sportsmen's clubs, and off work it's being involved in the community, involved in churches and other organizations, and involved with the family.
As a husband and father of 3 who works more than 60 hours a week, Rodall and his family would like to thank those who acknowledge and honor his work.
I thank the people of Minnesota because it is a great, great honor, and it's also a great honor for me to do what I do. To have a job that I enjoy this much and be able to do it every day like this is just tremendous.
In Alexandria, Drew Keogh, KSAX Eyewitness News. A small town in west central Minnesota known as Irrigation Country is making a big hit in a billion-dollar business. Glacial Wood Products has been one of the largest custom churning companies in the nation for the past 12 years. Now they're becoming a hit with baseball players of all ages, from around the nation to right here in Bruton.
There really isn't any PR work that's necessary on our part at this point, simply because we've got people walking through the door quicker than we can usually deal with them.
Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, and Ken Griffey Jr. are just a small sample of the big names who have been placing orders through the Tough Bats Company website. www.toughbats.com is where you can order these bats right off the internet. But Tough Bats co-owner David Domzik doesn't want to be known just for the big names using their bats, but for the quality of the X-Bat itself.
We do about a 3 to 4 week lead time for a custom-made bat, and that is both the length and the weight of the bat, barrel and handle color, and customization with a free name inscription on the bat. We'll put your name on the bat as well.
Each X-Bat is made of select hard maple or sugar maple, which may last 2 to 3 times longer than the traditional ash bat. In Bruton, Drew Keogh, KSAX Eyewitness News. A small company in a town of less than 650 people is making a major impact on baseball leagues everywhere. Glacial Wood Productions, located in Bruton, has been making the X-Bat for only 4 months, but many people are seeing the impact they have on baseball players everywhere. For $60, you can get your own personalized wooden baseball bat. But what makes these bats any different than the others?
We get in a rough block piece of wood, roughly 3 inches square by 36 inches long. Run it through a machine that planes all 4 sides. Then it goes into a lathe where it's the shape of the bat's produced. Then it goes into some automatic sanding equipment. And then it's weighted. The end is bored out to produce the weight required. Then it goes to our cabinet shop division in Greenwald, Heritage Cabinetry, where we make custom cabinetry, and they apply the stain and the finishes and the labeling. It comes back to Bruton. We inventory it, ship it direct to the customer, and that's the end of a happy story.
Numerous Major League Baseball players have been picking up these bats ever since the beginning of spring training. But with the snow melting around here, local baseball teams have been eager to get out themselves and use the X-Bat.
They look pretty sharp and got interested, and brought a bunch of guys from our team down to look at them, and they kind of fell in love with them. So we were going to order 3 dozen, and by the time we were done, we ordered 52 of them.
In Bruton, Drew Keel, KSAX Eyewitness News. Getting older, it's a fact of life. Growing old can be a difficult time. The kids don't stop by as often, your home is extra quiet, and your body is aching in places you never knew it could hurt. We are all going to get older. It's inevitable. Retirement is a time when things are supposed to slow down. They don't have to. Why not spend your time having fun while being active? Today we visited Long Prairie Memorial Hospital to learn more about Adult Day Services, a program for seniors who wanted to stay busy while being surrounded by others. Swanville has spent the past 2 years without a cafe. Today marked the beginning of a new era. Residents of Swanville and surrounding communities are once again able to enjoy a quiet conversation over a warm cup of coffee as they help celebrate the opening of Granny's Cafe in downtown Swanville.
I mean, that will be a big plus to the community. That will. People have been talking about that. It's nice to have them coming back into Swanville again.
It's just so cheery, you know? The wallpaper and the old photos and everything, it's just, I think it's super.
Super, supper, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever it may be, this cafe is going to be a great addition to Swanville's economy.
Having a cafe like this in town just adds to the economy of the town, brings them another excuse to come into town, and it's good for everybody.
The cafe has been open for less than a week, and shareholder Bruce Johnson says business has been great, but he and his co-workers are learning a lot in their latest venture.
We got a lot of new help in here, so we're not real speedy yet, but just to bear with us and give it time. But I think they come here, it might take a little longer to get served, but I think they're really going to enjoy the food.
During the lunch hour, people are able to get in and out with convenient lunch specials, and during supper, the cafe has been filling up. As you can see, Granny's is a very popular place. Now that I got myself a seat, I got to try the food. In Swanville, Drew Keel, KSAX Eyewitness News. Once the red ribbon was cut, it was finally time to check out Brainerd's newest addition. Brainerd's Family YMCA spent over $4 million on an expansion that doubled its size.
I think this is a fabulous thing for the community, the entire Lakes area. Our intent was to provide a facility that would become a community gathering place, if you will, for people with special needs, for single-parent families, for senior citizens, and of course for kids and their families. And I think we've done that.
The new addition features a kids' castle area, fitness studio, and the prized gem, a new aquatic center with a water slide.
I think that it shows a lot of community involvement. The fundraising came from a lot of different sources. It wasn't just one group of people. Many people contributed. Many people gave their time to help move equipment, do painting in certain areas, do cleaning. So I think that there was a lot of community involvement because they know how important it is to have the Y.
After more than 5 years of planning and hundreds of donations, it's easy to see how the members of this community are the winners in this deal. In Brainerd, Drew Keel, KSAX Eyewitness News. The Little Falls School District, in conjunction with the Minnesota Fishing Museum and Education Center, is giving a group of Argentinian students a chance to explore Minnesota, while Little Falls gets a little exposure to a new culture.
To be able to work with people from another culture, in another language,
and to share not only our culture but also our concerns with environment. It fits very, very nicely the model of what we are trying to do here in Little Falls.
Aquatech is a program where the students collect water samples from various Morrison County lakes and rivers. The students then return to the Minnesota Fishing Museum, where they conduct water quality tests.
What I like is to investigate all those rivers and see which is the quality of the water.
We got to see many rivers and, you know, the biology and stuff. And I don't know, it's kind of fun.
Program director Wayne Peichel is a retired Little Falls teacher who enjoys working with the Argentinian students.
I really enjoy learning about the cultures and educational systems that they have, and seeing where they're similar, seeing where they're different. But good kids, interested kids are the same, whether they're American or whether they're European, Asian, or in this case, Argentinian. And it's been a good experience for me.
The information gathered here by this project at the Swan River will be used by the DNR statewide, in addition to other government agencies inside of Morrison County. In Sobieski, Drew Keogh, KSAX Eyewitness News.
From KSAX TV, this is an Eyewitness News Update.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only weekend news and weather update. I'm Drew Keogh. Last night we brought you a story that showed you some reactions of Brainerd area residents during that devastating wildfire. And tonight we're able to say the fire is roughly 80% contained, but the damage left behind will leave scars on this community for a long time. Tonight at 10, reporter Sarah Casella will bring you the latest developments on the wildfire that continues to smolder. Well, Minnesota summers are short, but they're very hot. A program in Elbow Lake is hoping to bring cooler summers to elders in West Central Minnesota. West Central Minnesota Communities Action has been helping seniors over the age of 60 for more than 30 years.
The program is set up as an injury control program to help frail and elderly remain independent in their homes. We focus on safety and health.
The latest venture by the Frail and Elderly program has been to deliver used air conditioners to the homes of seniors who need a break from the heat.
A lot of the clients are immobile, where they're in walkers or in canes, or they can't go out and sit by a lake. So what we do here is we take an old air conditioner and clean it up, make sure it works, just to double check, and then bring it to an elderly client or have them come and pick it up.
The program is looking for donations of working air conditioners. To find out more about this program or to donate your old air conditioner, call the number you see on your screen. Weather-wise, we've seen the temperatures fall and the skies are becoming cloudy. So what's next? Let's check in with meteorologist Rob Cook to find out.
Cloudy skies throughout today, Drew, has kept temperatures back down to the 60s instead of be back near 80 by Friday.
Thanks for the update, Rob. And thank you for tuning in tonight for your local news and weather update. Stay tuned as KSTP returns after the break to look at sports. Join us again at 10. Until then, enjoy your evening.
From KSAX TV, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keogh. Executives and managers were part of another group to get layoff notices this week at Fingerhut. The latest cuts affected 21 workers in St. Cloud whose positions could be off the payroll as early as August 8th. Spokesperson for businessman Tom Petters confirmed that talks do continue between Petters and Fingerhut's parent company. A 60-day layoff notice was due to expire this past Friday for 330 St. Cloud workers. This time, we do not know how many of those workers had their notice time extended. The governor's trade mission trip comes at taxpayers' expense. It also comes at a time when he's put restrictions on travel by his administration. Tonight, investigative reporter Rob Lear takes a look at several of the state's top traveling commissioners and how much of your money they've spent.
30% chance of a rain shower Wednesday afternoon and 71. We'll be in the mid-60s for our coolest day of the week Thursday, a few rain showers. And partly cloudy, gorgeous on Friday and 73.
Thanks for the update, Rob. Today, the Fergus Falls Airport hosted an event featuring the old and the new in aircraft. Reporter Sarah Casella has the story.
Flying. It's often something we dream about, but besides hopping on a 747 out of the Twin Cities, it rarely becomes a reality. Well, not for this group. This weekend, airplane enthusiasts flew into Fergus Falls for the annual Fly-In, Drive-In breakfast at the airport. For many of those at the event, flying has been something they wanted to do since childhood. William Steelhammer first became interested in aviation right here at the Fergus Falls Airport.
And we would stop there with our parents and climb on that airplane. So that, I guess, the same thing that I'm doing here today by allowing the younger kids to climb on the helicopter that we have brought here in the Guard.
You didn't need a pilot's license to attend this event, and even if airplanes aren't your thing, there was still plenty to see.
And they bring some of the different airplanes in from some of the collector planes and float planes and some of the different things that's just fun to see.
Aviation toys is a big thing, the plastic models, but we get into the memorabilia, the pictures, the books, the videotapes, that type of thing. It's all aviation, it's all memorabilia.
Around 800 people attended this event. High winds prevented many people from taking to the air, but not me. After a little convincing, I even took to the skies. Reporting in Fergus Falls, Sarah Casello, KSAX Eyewitness News.
The event was part of Summerfest 2002, an annual event in Fergus Falls. Thanks for tuning in tonight for your local update. KSP returns after the break with sports. Have a good evening.
KSAX TV. This is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local update at 10. I'm Drew Keel. Our top story takes us to St. Cloud, where a 43-year-old male is under arrest for his involvement with a 6-year-old girl. 43-year-old Kevin Lee Jones is under arrest for first and second-degree criminal sexual conduct. Jones's arrest stems from an investigation of his involvement with the 6-year-old girl. Jones is in custody at the Stearns County Jail. Well, Alexander Light and Power is sending a 2-man crew to help repair damages to the city of Roseau's electrical system.
Roseau had a serious flood in their city, and their municipal electric, and Alexander Light and Power is going to send a crew up there this next week to help them recover from the flood. We're sending an excellent crew up there, experienced crew that is going to go out there and work hard and work safely. We'll be without 2 of our linemen for a week, which is tough to take this time of year because we have so many new services to put in, but when the call goes out, we feel we should respond.
The last time ALP provided mutual aid was in 1998 after an F3 tornado ripped through the town of St. Peter, Minnesota. Well, the 45th annual Minnesota Inventors Congress kicked off today in Redwood Falls, and photojournalist Ben Crow is there to see what's new.
You can play off of any sheet music, and that's the idea of it, the simplicity of it. And it's actually a novelty because when you first start playing, it's hard to believe that it can be that easy.
So William, please. This device is an innovative device that helps people put on their shoes with ease. You simply apply the device in the shoe, you slide it in, and as you slide it in, you're pushing down. As you're pushing down, at the same time you're pulling up, allowing the shoe to go in with ease. This device is also a medical device. It's the main source of it is a medical device.
We have the fishing drum. This all started, I was fishing on the Green Bay, and I had a bite on an outside pole. I went to reach for it, and I tipped upside down in the bay. And I said, there's got to be a better way to fish with 2 poles. So I come up with this idea, and then my son and I, we got together and made this prototype. And this is what we got here.
Come back around like this, swing it up like that.
The light fixture swivels, so you get your light exactly where you need it.
Well, it's to save toothpaste. They pay for themselves. Gets down like that, people about ready to throw it away. You just run it up the ends of the tube and do that, and it's all full again.
Okay.
The Inventors Congress runs through Sunday at the Redwood Community Center. Well, it's time now for our weekly edition of Fish Picks. First pick comes from Mike and Travis Bernard of Minneapolis. They caught these crappies on Lake Irene using tube jigs in 6 to 10 feet of water. And Jesse Flatten of Alexandria caught his crappies using crappie minnows. off the pier on Lake Victoria. We're always looking for pics of your trophy fish, so if you'd like to show off your pictures to our viewing audience, feel free to send them in to the address you see on your screen. Well, it's time now for a quick break, but coming up, meteorologist Dave Dahl will join us with your local weather forecast. Stay tuned. Thanks for the update, Dave. State baseball championships wrapped up today, and two area teams battled for the title in Class A. Monaga had a huge 7-run fourth inning, but Sleepy Eye St. Mary's scores a couple of late-inning runs to win the Class A championship game 9-8. Congratulations to both teams on their great seasons. And once again, we'd like to remind you to send those fish pics in. If you have any pictures of your trophy fish, send them in right here to this address on your screen. Maybe we'll show them off to our viewing audience. Thank you for tuning in tonight for your local update. Twins are showing Bud Selig around the bases, but did they have enough? And the Alexandria native Tom Lehman is 7 over after 2 rounds at the U.S. Open. But did he make the cut? KSTP returns after the break with sports. Have a good weekend.
From KSAX TV, this is Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keogh. Well, the 43-year-old male is under arrest for first and second degree sexual conduct for his involvement with a 6-year-old girl. 43-year-old Kevin Lee Jones is facing first and second degree charges of criminal sexual conduct. Jones was arrested in St. Cloud after an investigation into Jones's sexual involvement with the 6-year-old girl. Jones was taken into custody at the Stearns County Jail. Well, festival goers in Long Prairie enjoyed nice weather today as they helped celebrate the annual summer festival. Prairie Days Heritage Festival is in full swing this weekend. People from all over packed the streets to attend events ranging from a car show, kiddie tractor pull, to a craft show. The festival continues through the weekend, and tonight until midnight, you can enjoy a performance by Shakedown. Tune in tonight for more on Prairie Days Heritage Festivals in Long Prairie. Time now to check in with meteorologist Rob Cook to see how Father's Day is shaping up in the weather department.
Drew, thank you very much.
From KSAX TV, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keogh. Well, June is Dairy Month, and what better way to celebrate than a day at the Moleka Family Farm. There are more than just farmers enjoying the Dairy Day events. Today's dairy celebration was geared towards those who aren't familiar with the farm and to show them the importance of the business.
To see where their food actually comes from, to see a lot of people haven't even seen a cow milked, and this way they're able to come on out here and see how cows are milked, how calves are born, things like that, just the basic fundamentals of agriculture.
Some events going on today included a pancake breakfast, milking demonstrations, and a petting zoo, and it seemed everybody enjoyed the dairy celebration.
This is a great chance for people, city and farm folk, to come out to the farm, to visit the Moleka Dairy, to see what's going on the farm on a beautiful summer day. We're really excited to be part of this. It's a great chance for people young and old to have fun on the farm.
People also had the opportunity to tour the 900-cow facility, which has been in operation since 1989. Well, hundreds of people flocked to Long Prairie to help celebrate the city's annual Prairie Days Heritage Festival. The festival features a wide variety of events, which gives people a chance to get out and have a good time with others from their community.
It's really fun because people enjoy it, and especially on a nice sunny day like this, people can walk around and just enjoy visiting with their neighbors as well as shopping. So it's fun. It's been great.
This is only the second year Prairie Days has had a craft show, but it seems many people seem to be finding something to bring home.
It's fun to see all the different things that people make. Craft show is just a real entertaining type of shopping to do.
The stars were shining as the old and the new were on display at the Country Cruisers Car Show. Prairie Days continues tomorrow with the Grand Parade scheduled to start at 1:30. And tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, a gospel concert at Long Prairie Gray Eagle High School will signal a close to this year's celebration of Prairie Days. Well, last week was Safe Boating Week, and tonight we have a little boat safety for you as fisherman Steve Hamla shows us a couple of important items that you should have in your boat.
Tonight I just want to mention 3 things that everybody should be aware of in a boat. There are 2 of them that you need to have. by law if you're 16 foot or longer. A horn, now it could be an electric one mounted on your boat or a handheld horn. The thing that a lot of people forget is to have a marine fire extinguisher in the boat with them at all times. And then, of course, regardless of the size of the boat, you need to make sure that you've got a throwable life jacket to save anybody in case they get in trouble. But if you have those items with you, you'll have a lot easier time when the Water Patrol pulls up and talks to you.
Thanks for the tip, Steve. Well, it's time now for a quick break, but coming up, meteorologist Rob Cook will join us with your Father's Day weather forecast. Stay tuned. Anglers from all over the state met up in Osakis this weekend for the annual Lions Club of Osakis Walleye Tournament. The winners of this weekend's event have been announced, and with a total weight of just over 28 pounds, the team of Renee Marlick and Brian Winterfeld take home the top prize of $6,000. The biggest fish caught during this weekend's walleye tournament was just over 5¼ pounds. 100 teams of 2 competed in this year's Osakis Lions Club Fishing Tournament on Lake Osakis. While a group of underage drivers spent their Father's Day in a unique way. They're young, fast, and don't even have a license, but they do have their own set of wheels.
I have a lot of confidence in myself. I believe that I can win.
You get to basically teach the kids, you know, the right thing to do on racing.
I normally come here, we work on the track and on the cart. We do hot laps and like gear up, fix whatever we have to, and then we start racing.
A lot of work goes into getting these carts on the track each week. What's the secret about picking the right number for your cart?
My sister's cart number is 81, so I like to be like her.
Do you like racing?
Yeah, I love it.
There's no money exchanging hands during these races. The racers seem to be taking a lot of pride in just winning.
We do 2 heat races and we do a feature. And the feature is, if you win the feature, you get a trophy.
I want to win a trophy for my dad.
In Glenwood, Drew Keogh, KSAX Eyewitness News. Taylor Burns, the young man from that story, won today's feature race, taking home his 2nd trophy of the year. Races are held every weekend throughout the summer at 2 o'clock on the Pope County Fairgrounds, and admission is free to the public. Well, it's time now to check in with meteorologist Rob Cook to find out what your work week weather forecast is looking like.
Drew, things have really calmed down across much of Minnesota.
KSAX TV. This is an Eyewitness News Update.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in for your area's only local weekend update. I'm Drew Keogh. The Glenwood and Villard Fire Departments continue to investigate the fire that caused extensive damage to the 2nd level of a home in Villard. The fire began shortly after 10 o'clock last night at this house located at 1010 Portland in downtown Villard. Glenwood authorities report no injuries. The fire does not appear to be suspicious, and authorities believe an electrical short began the blaze. We first heard about the fire through a tip call. If you see any news happening, please call the KSAX News tip line, the number you see on your screen. A Planned Parenthood in Brainerd is set to reopen tomorrow. The clinic was sprayed with bullets on the 4th of July, forcing it to remain closed on Friday. The clinic serves around 50 patients a day and does not perform abortions. No one was injured during the shooting, but the bullets did damage several windows in the clinic's front door. Formal charges are expected in the arrest of a man facing sexual conduct charges. On Wednesday, 37-year-old Michael D. Nilsson was arrested on probable cause charge of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. Nilsson is accused of assaulting a woman at a home in Fergus Falls. Authorities continue to investigate this incident. Much of our viewing area is seeing showers and thunderstorms this evening. Some of the most severe weather passed through Otter Tail and Todd counties. Otter Tail County was under a tornado warning this afternoon. Just after 2, a funnel cloud was spotted 2 miles north of Elmore. The storm then moved into Todd County. Residents reported seeing heavy rain and hail. Most of our viewing area could see thunderstorms and a possibility of some severe weather tonight. Meteorologist Rob Cook joins us now with the details.
Thanks, Drew, very much. Well, tonight we are watching for the potential of heavy rain, and already the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch.